afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, April 4th, 2022. A little late. Apologize for that. I had an emergency individual we had to help immediately. So that kind of took precedence. When anybody's in pain or has some emotional issues, we do what we can to help them. So we will be having a time for change call this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and a reverse aging health call on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. When you're sending requests to us and you don't seem to get a response, and then you send another request and no response, and you send another request and no response, and you send another request and no response, it's highly recommended you check your spam folder. For some reason, some of the messages that people send go into their spam folders. So when you're looking in your regular folder and you just never see it. So it's highly recommended that you look at your spam folders for lifelight369@protonmail.com, because we answer every single person. We answer every single person. So we don't ignore people and just push them aside. Lifelight369 works around the clock to answer people's requests, questions, so on and so forth. Just highly recommended that you check your spam folder. Now, we don't have any guarantees that the cyber, the internet, doesn't mess up and it goes out in cyberspace. I've had that happen to me. But most of the time, it's because it isn't in your regular folder. It's in your spam folder. So it's a good idea to check that and see that it might be hiding in there. When we can practice, when we do practice, when we choose to practice, to be free from expectations, I'll tell you, expectations, you guys probably know this, are excuse me, they're toughies because we all have a tendency to have expectations. Whenever the mind holds on to expectations, we miss out on the divine beings that we truly are. Future results are never as amazing as the connection to this vast, infinite presence within us all. Expect nothing and be radically free. Expect nothing and be radically free. You know how you say, I was expecting this to happen, and when do you expect that to take place? We have these conversations. When do you expect that to take place? I'm expecting this to happen such and such, or I'm expecting that. And when it doesn't take place, we suffer. It's as simple as that. And we all know that, but it's a habit. And what you do is you do whatever you can to make a concerted effort to shift your frequency to you not having expectations. It's a toughie. It's a fine line, because you manifest something, right? You send it out to the universe, and it's not like you're negating it and saying that you don't care to have it. You're negating it by saying, I know this is going to take place. I've described it in detail, this one thing, to the universe, and I have all the faith and trust in myself and the universe that it will take place. I'm not looking as a particular time, I just know it will take place. It'll happen. We all have an enlightened path home to ourselves. It's just choosing it. Many don't choose it because they get so distracted with the external world. You drop the idea of becoming someone. You're already a masterpiece. Each of us are. You cannot be improved. You have only to come to know it and realize it. God has created us. We cannot be improved. Osho. So the God within us cannot be improved. This is when we talk about this, it means the God within us cannot be improved. It is absolute divine perfection. And it's the only thing that doesn't change. Everything around us changes. Body changes. Experience change. There is a divine intelligence behind everything and inside everyone. And this energy is constantly around us. abiding within every plant, tree, building, and the atoms of the air that we breathe. It is the sacred substance in which all things of this world come from to be created and destroyed. When we take the time to relax and let go of everything our minds are gnawing on, this sacred intelligence fills us up with its energy. We can then discover that there is much, much, much more to this life than running after our every desire. And we find out that the cessation of thinking about desires leads us to real inner peace, where we naturally and effortlessly come home to our true self. It is a fact that a higher divine intelligence lives within us. A higher divine intelligence lives within each and every one of us. The reason we don't always believe this or feel this sacred energy is operating or pulsating from inside. Lies in the places inside our hearts where we aren't 100% completely relaxed within ourselves. Where we are living in a form of tension, listening to the demands of our perpetually unsatisfied egos. The demanding ego is always wanting something and is never, ever truly satisfied with whatever it has. It is our false self that is devoted to strategizing and manipulating life to get what it wants. The ego is perpetually caught in the habit of seeking, searching, and desiring for more. It doesn't know how to sit back, be appreciative, relax, and feel at home in our sacred body. It has forgotten how to trust this intimate connection with divinity, that which is creating everything behind the show. The divine intelligence is always in charge of everything that manifests, always. It is doing everything to push each of us inside to discover the creator of itself, yourself, so that when you dive deeper into what's behind the thinking mechanism, you discover that spiritual element that is infinitely alive within your being. Life is doing everything that it can so that spirit transcends ego. This is the play, the divine drama on the greatest stage of them all, where you discover the infinite aspect of your being. Whatever physical, emotional, or mental problems that you're facing, they are all transcended through following this spiritual path. Your spiritual path is a springboard into your enlightenment, where each challenge you're facing contains the right amount of fuel to propel you into the core of your being, where you discover the most sacred source of existence. Our most empowered state of being is the one that is centered at rest and completely content with life as it is. Our most empowered state of being is the one that is centered at rest and completely content with life as it is. This brings about a natural state of perpetual joy and appreciation for this life. Deep inside each of us, in this spacious place where we can feel that time does not exist anymore, and there is nothing we need to do to make our lives better than they already are. This state is simply a feeling of deep conscious relaxation into the heart and allowing it to be our home throughout the day. The trusting open heart is our resting ground. It is the only place where the world has no power to sway us in any direction. We are truly protected there, deeply rooted in a sweet, sacred connection with the divine. When we deeply relax into our heart center, we are letting go of all the cares, attachments, and worries of this world. We realize that the most important relationship, paramount, is with ourselves. And we choose to use our time here on earth to discover this awesome experience of coming home to the divine beings we all truly are. Inside the heart, we are no longer split. We are able to easily make decisions and know our life's highest direction. It is only living from the head that we live in fear, are worried about everything, and cannot find our way through the darkness. It is only from abiding in our heart space can we reveal in the greatest spiritual exploration we are here to do. This is playing and the feeling and understanding that we are connecting with the God source each and every moment of our lives. The mind is a beggar because the concept of want makes you a beggar. Be only I am and try to lift the begging bowl. Throw away the begging bowl of ego for the throne, Papa J. When we let go of all our efforting to change ourselves, to try and improve ourselves so we achieve a better experience of life, we discover the sweet space of surrender to the divine. In this surrender, we find each moment feels like an eternal river of lightness in the heart. We stop battling life, swimming upstream, and discover a sense of oneness with everyone and everything. We let go of our fight with reality, and we begin merging with it. It is through this surrender that all of our inner conflicts become instantly resolved, which in turn manifests as having no more outer conflicts. It's good to know that the inner turmoil inside of us is just the ego believing we are not 100% perfect, just the way we are. The ego doesn't believe that. The ego cannot see our perfection. It only sees through a serious lens about the needs, what needs to be fixed and what is wrong. All right? What needs to be fixed and what is wrong. Or what can and could be improved. The ego is relentless about its path of being right about being right. It thinks that everyone else needs to change in order so that it can be happy. Where is its sense of humor? You find that the greatest truth is the one that opens up and liberates your heart from suffering the most. This means that happiness is always available no matter what is occurring in our outer world. We always have the choice to stop, rest, come home to our true selves, the warm, cozy nest found inside our heart. This sacred place is found through total surrender to existence. When we are finished with our tendency to control everything and micromanage our lives, we stop suffering, and the divine is instantly experienced. As long as we are following our thoughts, believing that they are real, we cannot discover the most expansive state of being. As long as we are following our thoughts, believing that they are real, we cannot discover the most expansive state of being. When we are lost in the thinking machine of the mind, the ego is running the show, and the door to the divine remains closed. There is always a crack open, and we can find it when we put 100% of our energy into trusting it is there. When we know the universe never makes mistakes and that everything is exactly as it should be, we relax and discover that home is where the heart is, truly, literally. Perhaps we should rephrase it to bring out more truth by saying the heart is where the home is. Instead of the home is where the heart is where the home is. For the next week of your life, I invite you to do a little experiment with yourself. Whenever you're not busy, whether you're waiting in line at the store or perhaps stuck in traffic, Let your attention rest on your heart center. Say to yourself, this heart is my home, and relax into it. This heart is my home, and relax into it. Don't try to relax. Just let go of everything in your head and let yourself be taken in by the heart. Feel as if it is welcoming you with open arms, fully ready to receive all of you, even those parts you don't approve of about yourself. These are also welcome. Spend as much time as you can each day this week, relaxing deeper and deeper and deeper into your heart. Don't make it into a big project of anything stressful. Just set the intention to explore it on the deepest levels. Relax into it whenever your mind is busy or anytime you can remember to. The secret here is being open to explore a completely new experience of yourself, one that is gentle, loving, filled with profound peace in the most intimate ways. After a week of relaxing into your heart, you will discover the most amazing thing. The light is already always turned on within the core of your being. There is no place to hide from it, nor any greater refuge to be found. You'll truly discover that heaven is on earth and is quite effortless to experience. Living for 7 days from this heart space, you'll understand that there is nothing you cannot accomplish or manifest in your life. There is no task too big for you to handle, and you're unstoppable, successful, and happy in every single thing you do. You discover a source of unfathomable bliss within you that cannot be taken away by any situation or circumstances. You end up falling in love with yourself, this world, and everybody in it. This is what it's like to come home to yourself. And the best news is that you can do this whenever and wherever you are. A new type of thinking is essential for all of mankind if mankind is to survive and move on to higher levels. A new type of thinking is essential for mankind if mankind is to survive and move on to higher levels. Albert Einstein. Get ready to shift your lives and start manifesting everything your heart desires. This is about really, truly going within, not forcing it, not pressing it, not hurrying it, not overachieving it, but going within. Because everything shifts. We're no longer in this incessant have to have, got to accomplish this, got to do this, I don't do this. Well, all of these things. We create, all of us create our own circumstances. We create them. Even though the ego mind tries to convince you, you didn't do that. It came from somewhere. And when you focus on something so much, you create it. You have an issue with your body, and you're constantly focused on it. And it's negative focus. It's ego mind focus. Worry, stress, and fear. It's getting worse. I don't know what to do. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And guess what? It gets worse and worse and worse. See, this civilization hasn't learned yet that God within these bodies is omnipotently powerful. And we can heal these. Doesn't it make sense? That each of us, if we have a body that's malfunctioning, right? We usually worry, stress, and fear about it, don't we? And we create more of the same thing that we're concerned about or fearful of. So we create more fear and more issues. We're so powerful that we literally accelerate whatever it is in our body that's happening. Rather than shift gears and say, I'm getting better. And mean it. You might have to fake it first, but you mean it through the heart mind. And people have done this, and they have literally healed themselves. But I've witnessed so many times, way too many times, where people continually focus intensely, I mean super intensely, on whatever it is their body is in distress or dis-ease. Whatever's going on with it, they're focused on it, but in a negative way, and they don't realize that they're pulling themselves down further and further and further and further, and more damage is being done, because the God within that body is absolutely super powerful and omnipotently so. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure that we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax these bodies. Most of us, think about this, and maybe most of you do understand, but the rest of the planet, they don't relax. They're stressed. 24/7. They go to bed, they think they're relaxed, they're stressed. But how do you do it? Is it complicated? Do I need to read books? Do I need to go to gurus? No. You focus on your breath. Anybody can do that. Anybody. Focus on the breath. The breath is divine positive energy. You, the God, enters that body, powers it up. Lungs come online, everything. Oxygen is created, air. So you breath in. It sustains us, the gods in these bodies. If that body couldn't breathe, where would we be? We would have to leave the body. So the breath is divine positive energy. It sustains the kingdom of God within it. So when we focus on the breath, what happens? What happens when we focus on the breath? We stop worrying. We stop fearing. Isn't that true? How can you worry when you're only focused on the breath, which basically is the now? Do you worry, stress, and fear in the now? No. Do you have any concerns? No. Are you thinking about your ailments? No. Most of us take the breath completely for granted. I mean, absolutely. We just take it for granted and we're breathing. Some of us forget how to breathe, but the body's going to make sure you continually breathe, or you'd end up leaving the body. So the breath is our magic while we're in these bodies. Easy in through the nose, easy out through the mouth. And when that happens, and you move into the now, you start de-stressing the body. All of that stress, all of that fear leaves. I'm not saying permanently, because most of us will head back in tomorrow. That's where we live. We live in tomorrow, or we live in yesterday. We don't live in the now. Why is that? The ego mind does not want you to be in the now. Because in the now does not exist. So you see the tug of war? So when we surrender, and we just kind of say, I am in the now, and I focus on my breath. You could do it all day long, and it only you know. This is the beginning to the journey within, so that we discover the God that we are. But as soon as you stop focusing on the now, guess what happens? We all do it. we start worrying, stressing, and fearing because we're always in yesterday or tomorrow. And you can catch yourself doing it whenever you wish. You'll know that you've wandered off into tomorrow or into the yesterday. Now, when we focus on our breath, the body does a really interesting thing. It lets go. It literally lets go of all that stress, anxiety, fear, worry, which distresses it, and it becomes lighter. If you've ever lost everything, had nothing, that's the lightest that you could possibly feel. Because everything that you always worried about is gone. Every anxiety, stress, and fear. And then when you realize that, you're not concerned. You know that the universe is going to come in and it is going to literally assist you and lift you. But if you stay in that frequency, the universe can't help you because you drop yourself down from the flow of abundance from the universe. We have a choice. We raise ourselves up in higher frequency to match the abundant flow of the universe, or we keep ourselves down and we go into pain and suffering and not in the now. So when we relax these bodies, understand that our subconscious mind is it's a library, and the body is like a magnetic sponge. So everything's absorbed. And then the subconscious mind copies everything that the ego mind generates. Literally. And so, and it plays it back over and over and over again. So you see how important and imperative it is for us to stay in the now. When we look in these bodies, because we're not the body, we're not the name, we're not the character, we're not the personality, we're the God within the body. That's absolute fact. So when you look in this body that you're in, and you see 7 lights, all different colors, vibrant, way beyond colors on this planet. And you what are those? They go from the spine, the tip of the tailbone, all the way, the coccyx, all the way to the top of the head. And they're usually in alignment, pretty much, fairly so. And on this planet, they're called chakras. And the definition of chakra is wheel. And the wheels of light. They're spirit etheric energy. We, the gods that we are spirit etheric energy, omnipotently powerful. So we flow through these bodies. Now, those conduits, those chakras, are attached to everything in this body: emotion, character, personality, your worry, your stress, your fears, your anxieties, your physical, organic tissue, everything down to the quantum core. Quantum meaning super tiny. So doesn't it make sense that when we decide to take the journey within, not the journey without, doesn't it make sense that we will eventually discover that we are the power of healing? Doesn't that make sense? You know it does, because you can feel it through your heart and mind. It makes absolute sense and truth. Why don't we all do it? Because the biggest challenge is moving into the now and staying in the now. That's the biggest challenge. Because the ego mind will continually keep you in tomorrow or yesterday. What comes with it? Worry, stress, and fear. Lack of trust in the universe. Lack of trust in oneself. Doubt in oneself. Doubt in the universe. Now picture yourself standing in front of 3 paths. Now you're in the center path. Like, let's just say there's this huge silver dollar, right? And you're standing on the edge of the silver dollar. right? You're in between yesterday and tomorrow. Now you look at these paths, and they're pretty much all alike. The one in the center path, is you can see where the trees have formed a canopy, all right? And they're all gold and shimmering, the leaves, the bark, the branches, and everything. And the path itself is this brilliant emerald green flaming grass, or it appears to be grass. But the only thing you notice, right, is the one on the left, yesterday, or the past, is really worn. One on the right, tomorrow, or the future, is really worn. And the one you're standing on looks brand new. Now, we all go, we all do this. It's fun. We reminisce. Something will spark it. You know, a song, a place, or just a thought. And so we'll reminisce. We all have libraries. And they're vast, absolutely vast. Because remember, the subconscious mind constantly putting things in that library. Never ending. We open the door, turn on lights. We grab a couple of movies, a couple of books, and some pictures. We sit in the easy chair, we watch the movies, read a little bit about the books, and we look at pictures. And we reminisce. This is a great time. Had a great time. It was wonderful. Wish I could do that again. And sometimes we'll even visit the unpleasant ones that we've experienced to remind us not to do that again. But we leave. We put everything away. We turn off the light, and we shut the door. And we move forward in life. On occasion, we'll revisit. But some of us will stay there so long, and I don't believe that it's consciously being done. It's unconscious. And we end up taking that past, we bring it into a future that doesn't exist, because we create the future in the now. We create that future from that past, and we relive that past and that future. This is why people will say, no matter what we do, we always end up here. Now tomorrow, the tomorrow path, or the future, right? We don't know it, but we're creating our futures for ourselves in the now. But we still, the ego mind, pushes and drives us to want to know things, to make us feel better, more secure. I want to know when this is going to happen. I want to know when that's going to happen. I want to know when I'm going to get this. I want to know when I'm going to get that. What time period? What am I looking at? When is this going to take place? Okay? And we're in a hurry because we want to know. And it's the ego mind that's in control that's causing us to feel insecure. We need reassurance. So we go into the future. We seek out reassurance. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to have what you want. Don't worry about it. And then that kind of subsides, doesn't it? And then it comes back. And then this is a cycle that the ego mind has us all in. It comes back. So then we want to know more about what's going to happen in the future or tomorrow. And it's a cycle. It's constant. It's a circle jerk. It just keeps going, going, going. We feel better, and oh, great. You know, someone says to you, well, this is going to happen then. Oh, that's wonderful. And you feel good, right? And then the stress, anxiety, worry disappears for a bit. A little bit, not long. And then, of course, it comes back in, and we do the same thing over again. Now, some of us will hide in the past. Okay? And it feels good because for a moment, we're not focused, what? We're not focused on tomorrow. We're focused on yesterday. And then we stop being focused on yesterday and we focus on tomorrow. What about now? Well, most of us skip over now. It's the ego mind's in charge. As long as the ego mind is in charge and is mastering you, this is the life. Doesn't it make sense? This is the life we experience. Yesterday or tomorrow. Never the now. And this is why so many people are stressed out on this planet, and they're so distraught, worried, stressed, and feared. And fearful action. Not a fun time for any of us. And many of us will say, no, it's not a fun time. It's not a joy. So if you were to understand, that by being in the now always, practice as much as possible to stay in the now, everything shifts. Okay? And we all, on this meditation, others out there, that we're gods. Without feeling guilty, suppressed, worried by saying that. Some people are, because of the ego mind and because of society. We're gods in these bodies. We are pure love, pure consciousness, divine perfection that never changes. So then that means that when we enter these bodies, we power them up and everything so that the body can sustain the gods that we are, so we can experience the physical life. We are heaven. Heaven is not a place. You, all of us, the gods within these bodies, are heaven, the kingdom of God. The body is earth. We are literally heaven on earth. And we're all consciously aware, to a certain extent, consciously aware that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And every step we take on this planet, we create paradise. Not only that, we shine our light. And we can shine it any direction we want, as long as we want. And no, you don't deplete yourself, you don't lose your energy by doing that. So when you shine your light, this is what? It is the light of the love that we're all made of, as the divine perfection, God's pure consciousness within these bodies. It is the highest of the highest high frequency. Nothing compares to it. And we're flooding this planet. Think about that. Just in humanoid form, there's 8 billion of us. Plus, we're talking about all of us on and above and below this planet, Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. And not even taking into consideration all of the other gods housed in all of the other physical forms. So, if you were to take a starship off this planet, go out far enough where the planet looks like a basketball, you would see that it glowed. There wouldn't be one area where it didn't glow, right? You would notice that all the lights around it in the universe would pale in comparison. They'd be like a lit candle in a dark room. Dim, dim, dim. Now, some of us just might, before we decide to leave these bodies, understand that we are the light. And not the Luciferian light, not the illuminated one, but the light. What is the light? The love that we are, that we're of and from, is the love that projects, that sends this magnificent light out. So when you do decide to leave the body, you go out in the sacredness of space, and a light shows up, you will know that this is a matrix trap. And you will not go into the light. It is a bait. There are many people that know that. This is why they keep in the cycle of reincarnation, with no memory to assist them in the next life. Total blank slate. Does that make any sense? Over and over and over again. Now, we know that there are parts of the gods that we are that are asleep, right? We deeply love them. No, it's no different than the parts of the gods that we are that are awake. We deeply love both sides. The ones that are asleep will wake up in their own time. The ones that are awake are the ones we interact with. Higher our vibrational frequency, more parts of the gods that we are will awake. Now, we're constantly plagued with the illusion of separation. That's through the ego mind. So we believe everything is separate. And this is how we create it, and this is how we manifest it. Everything is separate. But that is the illusion. There's no separation with anything, especially the gods that we are. So, a part of you, all of us, could be 9,000 billion light years away. And we're all one. And we're all gathered. We're always gathered. Those of us that are consciously aware focus on this planet and its complete liberation, increasing the vibrational frequency, dispelling all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies because of the higher frequency, where they vaporize. You can see it. You can literally see through your heart minds this black vapor leaving the planet, all over the planet. You visualize it leaving. But where does it go? It is completely vanished by the higher vibrational frequency of deep eternal love. It is in non-existence. It doesn't exist anymore. And this is what's happening. The soul, all of it, gone permanently. Because we don't care to ever have this continue to happen again on this planet. Ever. And it won't. Because more and more of us are going within. And on our own choosing. Not forced, not tricked, not out of fear, but because we choose to. And we embrace it. And then we begin our journey, our endless journey within. And we're all and this is all the light energy beings. And all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It's archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. Ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh. Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Vedantia, Pelthon, Yahweh, Yeshua. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. All of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. All the celestials, galactics, off-worlders. And understand, we're in the Googleplexes. One Googleplex fills this entire universe with not even 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. These are trillions of Googleplexes from trillions of universes. And we're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. We're all one. We're all God. And we're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy, is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And it continues to grow, and it continues to expand and intensify. We all form immediately this massive white fire circle of light around the equator of this planet, Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now. Now, this white fire circle of light is so bright that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. it would take a billion zillion suns to come close to its brightness. And the brightness is pure, deep, eternal love, saturating this planet as we are all here in this meditation. Head to toe, inside and out, infinity and beyond. You can see there's no escape of the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. There never was. It is encapsulated and dismissed into the pure consciousness. Now, we begin to ascend above the planet. We are immediately met with this massive ocean of glitter. It isn't like you would depict an ocean of glitter on this planet. It's way beyond that. So we describe it the best way we can. We take a grand finale fireworks display that nothing on this planet has come close to, a grand finale laser light show display, and the ballroom globe. We're all familiar with that. Spins, any light shining upon it, the mirrors reflected everywhere. This one's about 1 trillion times larger, 1 trillion times more intense. So we take all of these, we combine them into one grand crescendo. And then we are close in describing the ocean of glitter. Because when we look at the ocean of glitter, because we're in it, right, we look for the reflection points, which are everywhere. And we see these little tiny microscopic, perfectly etched mirrors. We enter them, we discover that all of us, in every physical form that any of us have decided to inhabit, to experience, are teaching and learning from each other all the time. Infinity and beyond. Do you think a tree doesn't teach you? Watch the tree. Seriously, watch the tree. And see how much it does teach you. What is the tree? A God is in that tree, which is part of the God that you are. And that God is experiencing the physicality of that tree because it wanted to. So the God sustains the tree sustains the God. It's no different than anything else. You might have wondered what was it like to be a rock. You focus on that rock, you go into silence, you still yourself in the now, and for a moment, you'll know what it is like to be that rock. Remember, we're all one. All the gods are one. So do you see how simple it is to know what it's like to be a different physical form? We're immediately met in the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created to remind all of us, the gods that we are the power of healing. We're then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all, the gods that we are within these bodies, of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are imbued with the white fire armor. Nothing like the armor on this planet. Much, much more. Now, nothing can penetrate this white fire armor because it is made out of what we're made out of, pure, deep, eternal love. So no lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, no demon possession, no attachments, nothing ever can harm us. Yet, only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, whether consciously or unconsciously, through what? Hatred, anger, fear, greed, revenge, hurriedness, jealousy, You will lower your vibrational frequency low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor. Enough so to allow all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Then you have all kinds of situations, possibilities, demon possession, attachments, all kinds of things can occur. Now, if you do decide to do this, you're immediately met with a double column of light. We created this double column of light. The first part of it is purple transmuting flame. We created this part of it to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are no more. The second part of this column of light is the violet ray. We created this part of the column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony, the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is the column of light that all of us, the gods that we are within these bodies, created to remind us all that we are the sun. We are the sunlight. We are the rain and the rainbows. We are the sunsets and the sunrises. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. We are the trees and the forests. We are the soils. We're the mountains. We're the skies and the clouds. We're everything. Everything is us. So the next time you do see any of these, your immediate response is what? Isn't that beautiful? That's the illusion of separation. But when you realize that it's just an illusion, then you'll say, that is the God that I am. And you'll do it through your heart, mind, not your head. That is the God that I am. We continue to ascend. Some of us decide to step outside our physical form if we're carrying physical form and hover effortlessly above it. The reason we do this is because we can, and it is really fun. We come into full contact with this massive crystalline light tower. Now, we created this tower. It's larger than the solar system and beyond. Now, in the center of the column, we see this massive oblong sphere. Center of the sphere, we see this golden white bowl of light. It is, in turn, surrounded by numerous multicolored rings of light that seem to go to infinity and beyond. In turn, they create this massive, brilliant, super bright white, misty cloud that's sparkling, flashing. And it very softly enters through our heart minds. And it feels like a warm embrace that never ends. And we discover that the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, the eternal love. Then comes well-being, gratitude, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, massive prosperity, massive abundance. And we discover that all of this is a reflection of the gods that we are within these bodies. Now, at the top of this tower, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, infinity, and beyond. What is the golden ocean? It is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And it's flooding, saturating, permeating this planet, head to toe, inside and out. infinity and beyond. We, all of us, are drops of this golden ocean. Not only that, we hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere. It's that center circle. We created this sphere over 4 years ago. It holds nearing 1,900 of our meditations in perpetual motion. Every day, hundreds of millions of us on and off world, consciously aware to a certain extent, concentrating on the liberation of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. Head to toe, inside and out. Pure, deep, eternal love, cascading, saturating, permeating the planet. And all life, the highest supreme value in the universes. This is why this sphere can be seen, heard, and felt in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And these meditations in the sphere continue to intensify, grow, and expand. You can see it as these meditations saturate and permeate the planet. You see this golden wave. And there's nowhere that you look that there isn't this golden wave. And it's opaque. You can see through it, but yet you see this golden shimmering essence, the pure, deep, eternal love, saturating this planet and all life, the highest supreme value in the universes. You can tap into it any time you choose by being still. Certain negative events will always happen to you to cause you to take a glimpse at a bigger reality. If you can look at them with eyes wide open, you'll always notice one thing. You actually created these challenging and frightening events to give you an experience of coming home. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Be still. Everyday human suffering has become normal. This is caused by one basic thing: unconscious thought, patterns, and habits. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning, and we will return here Tuesday, April 5th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation